Hello everyone, and today I'm going to show you how to Takeoff Boost works for you as a painter. So I've got a few different plans that I'm going to go through. I've got this floor plan and a reflected ceiling plan and a couple of reflected ceiling plans. And so what Takeoff Boost does, it will automatically draw the takeoff for you on floor plans, reflected ceiling plans, or finished plans. And we've got some very cool features specific to just painters to help you in your workflow. So you can see I've got just a regular old floor plan here. I'm going to run Takeoff Boost on it. And there's a few different things that you can do with Boost here. So we've got our footprint area that will give you the total square footage of the entire floor plan. We can also have net area, which will give you the square footage of each of the rooms. So maybe if you're doing epoxy floors, you'll get the square footage of the rooms there. Ceilings, which I'll be showing you here in just a second. Our painting feature, this will take off single-sided walls in every room. I'll show you what that looks like. And then counts. If there's any counts that you needed to get for any reason, doors, toilets, sinks, anything like that, we'll go through and count all of those things for you as well. So I will run Takeoff Boost. I certainly don't need this to wait to work on it. I can just go straight to the next page, and you'll notice as it's working, the conditions will pop over here to the side. So you don't need to make any new conditions. It will make all of those for you. So I've got my reflected ceiling plan over here. I'm going to run Takeoff Boost. And in this case, let's just do the painting walls and the ceilings. So in this case, I don't have any tags on ceilings. I just have a regular ceiling plan. This will detect acoustical ceiling tile and gypsum board. And again, I know a lot of painters like to run or like to do their takeoff on the reflected ceiling plan. You can certainly do that with Boost here. And you notice all the conditions made for that first plan, so that's ready to go. I'm going to run Boost here, and it'll make new conditions for acoustical ceiling tile as well as gypsum board. And I'm going to go over to the next page and just show you what this plan looks like if you did have some symbols. There were some call outs for like ACT, MPO4, gypsum wallboard. Maybe they were calling out different finish types that got on the gypsum here. You can also break it down like that. So I'll run Boost on this plan for ceilings. And I'll select my tag shape as a square and run Boost. Now, while those two are running, I'm going to go back over to that first page and show you what those results look like. So you can see Boost made a lot of conditions here. Those are all conditions that you'd have to be making yourself, but Boost went and drew everything for you as well as created them. We've also made it easy to work with by automatically adding these layers too, so you can kind of flip through the results and not have to work with everything all together. So I'm just going to turn off everything except for our footprint area here. You can see that footprint area got you the entire square footage of the of the floor plan. Now if I turn that off, we can look at the wall surface. And these are those single-sided takeoffs that we did. So you can see I'm getting single sides of each one of the rooms here. If I click into this, you'll notice that we've also defaulted in the quantities. So surface area, single-sided as our quantity 1, your length, so you can get just the regular length of it, as well as segment counts for things like counting corners. And you can easily reassign these results too. So if I had some style sets imported in, you could just right-click and then reassign this to one of your style sets that you already had. Now I don't have any imported on this plan, but it's really easy to do if you've got some standard conditions that you're always working with. And I'll show you how that reassign flow works on the next page here. So we've got the wall surface. If I click through this and I just go to my net areas, you can see now I'm getting the individual square footage of each room here. It's breaking that off really well. And lastly, we've got our counts. So you can see it's gone through and counted everything. Doors, it's even split things out like double doors, toilets, sinks, all that kind of stuff. And you can get really clever with this. So for example, a sink here, you might know that there's a mirror behind it. You don't really want to account for that paint there. You can use these counts for the sinks to get those kinds of measurements as well. Now going over to my reflected ceiling plan, I'll show you what that looks like. So you can see here, Boost has differentiated acoustical ceiling tiles, gypsum wallboard, and we don't have to worry about drawing any of those conditions or splitting them out. It's done all of that for us. Now, of course, we don't expect these results to be perfect, right? You're going to always have to work with it and double check, but we do make it really easy to work with the results. So for example, here, got a little funny with the shapes, but really easy to come in and fix that. And you'll notice that it actually didn't separate this gypsum board here. Did there, but right here it didn't. So again, we can work with this really easily. I'll just come over here to use my split area tool. split that off, and then we can right click and reassign, just like I was talking about earlier, over to the correct type there. And that's how you work with those results. Now going really quickly over to the next ceiling plan, so you can just see how a little bit of this works with the ceiling types. We've got our ACT type 1 here, so it's assigned all those, the ACT 1, MPO4, gypsum board, and then you can adjust the results really quickly here. And for whatever reason, it didn't capture this ACT 2, so we can just, again, go in here really easily, assign that over to ACT 2. Same thing for this one, we can reassign that to ACT 1. And it's just a very, very fast and effective way to work with those results. So now you just need to go in and make some edits instead of drawing all these yourselves, and saves you a lot of time as a painter. Last thing that I'll mention here is, of course, as a painter, you're probably not working with acoustical ceiling tile very much. So it's really easy to just get rid of those results where you don't want them. So if we go back over to this plan, I will select my ACT conditions, and we'll just delete those. You can see now I only have the gypsum board in those conditions that I actually want to work with there. That's how Boost works for you.